Welcome to Iraqi Dinar Today. Stay with me until the very end of this video. I am going to keep this straight and clean. No noise, no filler, just what actually matters right now. By the time this video is done, you are going to understand the one thing that separates preparation from action. You will know exactly what to watch, why it counts, and how to protect yourself in a calm and practical way. If you are someone who wants real facts instead of empty promises, you are in the right place. We're going to cover how this system actually works from the inside. We're going to talk about why there has been no public move yet. And we're going to break down the one official step that changes the entire picture the moment it happens. I will use simple language, short sentences, no dates handed to you like guarantees. What I will give you is a clear view of how real decisions get made at the policy level, and which signs actually mean something versus which ones are just noise. Here's where we start. Right now, the technical groundwork looks serious and advanced. Systems have been constructed. Bank staff have gone through training. Compliance requirements are being tightened across the board. Payment messaging standards have been revised. Banks are updating both their software and their security frameworks. Capital rules for commercial banks are being restructured. These are significant steps. They require time and real resources. But here's the critical point. None of that equals a policy switch being flipped. Building something is not the same as turning it on. Picture a plane sitting on the runway. The mechanics have run their tests. The pilots have completed every checklist. The ground crew has cleared the path. That plane being ready does not mean it takes off. The captain still has to give the final order. Finance works exactly the same way. Institutions prepare in silence. They do not announce the final move until they are certain the system holds. That is why you see road maps and guidance documents. Those prove work is happening. They do not prove policy has changed. They show readiness. Nothing more, nothing less. Stay locked in. In the next part, I'm going to explain why reserves matter, but not in the way most people think, and what correspondent banking actually signals when it moves. If this is making sense so far, hit that like button right now and make sure you're subscribed so you catch every part of this breakdown. Everything builds on what we already covered. Now, let us go deeper into two areas that confuse a lot of people: reserves and correspondent banking. Large foreign reserves give a central bank real confidence. They signal to global partners that a cushion exists. A strong reserve position is a practical tool. It helps absorb shocks during any kind of transition. But here is what most people get wrong. Reserve alone do not trigger a policy shift. They build credibility. They make it easier for foreign banks to consider reconnecting. They make the overall story more believable to international partners. But the formal announcement is still the real trigger. Until that official paper is published, nothing new is operationally active for outside institutions. Keep that clear in your mind. If someone is treating a reserve number as a guarantee that something is about to happen, be careful with that. Numbers matter, yes, but the legal and operational signals carry more weight when the actual switch gets thrown. Now, let's talk about correspondent banking, because this is a key piece of the entire puzzle. Foreign banks will not reconnect unless they feel confident. They need clear operational rules in place. They need assurance that payments will actually clear without problems. They need trust that compliance filters will function properly. Rebuilding those correspondent relationships takes serious time and serious paperwork. It depends entirely on whether local banks are genuinely meeting global standards. This is why central bank reforms and commercial bank capital upgrades are so central to this whole picture. When correspondent banks begin updating their internal processing notes and telling clients how they will handle transactions, that is a powerful signal. It shows the international system is starting to move. Before those notes appear, most global settlement desks stay on the sidelines. They wait for official word and clear operational guidance before committing. The path to full re-engagement runs in a specific order. Domestic preparation comes first. Then foreign banks update their operational procedures. Then comes the formal public declaration. That sequence matters. Skipping steps does not work in this world. Do not go anywhere. Part 3 is where we get into pilot testing, timing conditions, and why the calendar is not the decision maker. Drop a comment below and tell me what signal you are watching most closely right now. And if you have not subscribed yet, do it now so you never miss an update. Still here? Good. That tells me you are serious about understanding this correctly. Let us keep moving. Pilot testing is a completely normal part of this process, and it is actually a good sign when it happens. Officials run parallel systems specifically to verify that everything functions under real conditions. A pilot allows banks to process transactions using both old and new procedures at the same time. Errors get caught without any public disruption. These pilots can be thorough and detailed. They cover messaging formats, settlement timeframes, compliance filtering, and accounting rules. Here's the part that confuses a lot of people. Pilots mean systems can be running live in the background without being publicly active. That dual state looks like the policy is already switched on. It is not. It is being stress tested under controlled conditions. Only after pilots consistently pass will a public rollout begin. Pilots can run for weeks, sometimes months. They exist as a safety valve. They reduce the risk of payment failures when the public switch is finally flipped. Now let us talk about timing, because this is where a lot of frustration builds up. The calendar does not decide policy. Conditions decide policy. 3 things have to line up at the same time. First, technical readiness has to be confirmed. Second, security and political stability must be solid. Third, international partners have to feel comfortable enough to act. If any one of those 3 factors weakens, the window closes. That is why timing discussions are always conditional. When an analyst says a certain month looks possible, that is a conditional assessment based on current signals aligning. It is not a promise. Even a technically ready system can be postponed by a sudden geopolitical event. International banks will pull back fast if risk rises. This is why serious watchers track both banking bulletins and regional security developments together. Those are not separate conversations. They feed into a single decision about when to move. Military posture and diplomatic positioning matter here too. Visible deterrence raises confidence among international partners. Asset movements are observed by banks and investors. If the region stays calm and deterrence holds, partners are more likely to act. If instability spikes, the window closes quickly. Banks do not want exposure in unpredictable environments. Share this video with someone who needs to hear this explained clearly. Part 4 is coming, and it covers the 5 real signals you should actually be watching in the exact order they matter. That section alone is worth staying for. We are getting into the most practical section of this entire breakdown. Pay close attention here, because this is the part that will actually help you make better decisions. Internal political coordination is not optional in this process. A central bank cannot move alone on a major exchange change. Ministries, regulators, and in some cases parliament must all be involved. Budgets, wages, public contracts, and essential services are all tied to exchange arrangements. A shift affects legal and economic anchors across the entire system. That is why coordination happens quietly behind closed doors. Public drama can either mask real quiet progress or it can expose genuine blockages. The signals you want are not sound bites. They are formal documents. Watch official gazettes. Watch regulatory circulars. Watch precise central bank language. Those show that coordination actually worked. If major claims are being made but formal documents are nowhere to be found, be skeptical. Now here are the 5 real signals you should be tracking in this specific order. 1. Official central bank documents that contain clear operational language and state effective dates. 2. Publications in the official government gazette that make rules legally binding and enforceable. 3. Operational notes from correspondent banks explaining how they will process transactions going forward. 4. Regulatory bulletins confirming that commercial banks now meet updated capital and compliance requirements. 5. Visible economic deals and real trade flows that strengthen the overall credibility picture. If you see those 5 signals appearing in sequence, that is the hinge point. That is when preparation becomes execution. If what you are seeing is only social media posts and private messages, treat that as rumor. The formal documents are the only reliable confirmation that matters. Understand the legal and tax side before you take any action. If a policy change increases the value of holdings, Tax rules may apply depending on how and where you hold currency. I am not providing legal advice, but I am telling you clearly, speak with a licensed tax or legal professional before acting on any event. People who plan their legal steps in advance are always in stronger positions after a change happens. The parallel market will not disappear overnight either. It exists because the formal system has not met all needs. Even as formal channels open wider, informal exchange will continue for a period. Expect a transition phase where both coexist. This video is free. Sharing it costs nothing. If this breakdown is helping you think more clearly, share it right now with someone else who is watching this space. Part 5 wraps everything up with the closing picture and exactly what to do from here. We are at the finish line. Let me bring everything together clearly and give you the practical steps that matter most right now. After a formal announcement, the real confirmation comes from how institutions behave. Clearinghouses update their processes. Banks revise internal rate sheets. Payment networks adjust their messaging systems. Those operational moves happen within hours or days of a declaration. They are what actually converts an announcement into working reality. That is why testing runs so deep before anything goes public. Officials want a coordinated landing, not a chaotic surprise. The public declaration starts a conversion from preparation to execution. Institutional behavior then completes it. If pilot programs have been running, insiders may already know the new mechanics. But leaks are not official authority. Only a written public central bank declaration serves as the real trigger. After that declaration, the confirmation you want is immediate operational responses from foreign banks. Without those responses, an announcement may not yet translate into usable change across borders. Language in official documents matters enormously. Look for phrases that include effective from followed by a specific date and time. Look for sections describing settlement rules and foreign bank participation. Vague language like "we continue to evaluate options" tells you preparation is still ongoing. Specific, formal language is a change agent. Learn to read those documents. They will tell you the truth plainly when the moment comes. The broader economic backdrop adds credibility to the overall picture. Major trade deals, investment announcements, and project financing strengthen the signal that the system can support expanded international activity. They do not create the event alone, but they make it more sustainable. A country with real economic flows is a more attractive partner for global banks. Here is your practical checklist. Know exactly where your holdings are. Keep all records and documents organized and accessible. Have identification and banking paperwork ready to go. Maintain enough liquidity for daily needs so you are never forced into rush decisions. Write out a simple plan. Who to contact, which documents you'll need, how to access funds through proper legal channels. That plan reduces anxiety and puts you in control when the time comes. Manage your emotions deliberately. The fatigue from waiting is real. Use your skepticism as a filter, not a wall. Focus on the 5 signals we covered. Resist anyone selling certainty. When the real signals appear, your calm and your plan will be your greatest advantage. The short version of everything we covered is this. The technical machinery looks close to complete. The foundations are being built seriously. But until the formal public declaration appears with full operational details, the system is not active for outside institutions. Watch for the 5 signals. Prepare practically. Talk to licensed professionals. Stay grounded in facts. If you want me to keep tracking official documents and flag the exact language that matters the moment it appears, subscribe right now. Hit the bell so you never miss an update. Leave a comment and tell me which of the 5 signals you think will show up first. I read every comment. I will keep watching what is written, not what is whispered. Thank you for staying until the end. That focus is exactly what will serve you when this moves.